My name is Timothy Tselepis.
I'm Anthony Themis.
I'm Louie Themis.
And we are Creative Curiosity, and this is the Tame Truth.
Ooh.
A new
Ooh.
spin-off segment that we are starting, which each episode, which will go for approximately 15 minutes long, a nice short and sharp, quick discussion about a particular topic that may be in the news, maybe has some opposing views, and we'll all put our 2 cents worth and hopefully come out with a nice discussion for you.
Yeah,
for
and
you
it's
to hear.
like, and it's like serious, like seriously, like serious. So
Very
like,
serious.
Is it serious?
But it's seriously serious. That's why we're serious. That's why I look into the camera, listener. We're looking at you, looking into your soul,
Wow. This
because
is
we're serious.
Well said.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Shall we?
So the topic of discussion for this first Tame Truth episode is body dysmorphia. Specifically talking about within the media, I think.
That is correct.
The online world.
The online world that
Yes.
we are so victim to, I think sometimes. We see it a lot as the group way of being, the collective way of living and operating in the world. And we fall victim to that sometimes in many formats.
Should we provide some context as to how this conversation came about, which we've had previously, which was we were discussing superhero films and
The ones that Timmy loves.
Yeah, I do enjoy them.
Right
but
on, Timmy.
specifically,
you can like whatever you want.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for the support. I really
No
appreciate
worries.
it. Specifically looking at an actor, Kamal Nanjiani, if I've said his name right. He was starring in The Big Sick, and then he was cast for The Eternals, which is coming out soon, which is a new Marvel film. And we were absolutely blown away at how he had this, reasonably average looking physical appearance and then got absolutely jacked for this new role.
Shredded.
Absolutely shredded. And we sort of came to this idea of, and this thought of the way, I guess, the superhero genre are showcasing these perfect bodies,
Yeah, you
These-
can't be the star in a superhero film these days without being jacked and super big.
Yeah, look, I think... Look,
Pretty rare.
Look,
Unless you're Ant-Man or, I don't know, someone else.
Yeah, look, my opinion on this is that I think it all stems from when the comics first originated and this preconceived idea of what a superhero is, what they look like, and who they are. And I think that's now carried on into this day and age where obviously mindsets have changed. And I think T, you have a very strong opinion on where we stand in this world at the moment.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, as someone who's, been in the gym in a very sort of low results way.
Look at these
I know, I
arms.
used to be a bit more jacked, but you
Come on, man,
you're more jacked than
seriously.
I am. But like, I think if you've spent a bit of time in the gym, you can know that, building muscle over a prolonged period of time takes a lot of work. And, we look at Kamal Nanjiani, as we've mentioned his name. He went through this crazy metamorphosis in like 6 to 12 months. And if you look at this guy, he's super jacked, right? And I think the problem is, my biggest problem is the lack of transparency in the industry. So even Chris Hemsworth, right? And I love Chris Hemsworth. Who doesn't love Chris Hemsworth? He's 6'4". He's an absolute specimen of a human. But, he claims natural all the time and he's been working hard. Chicken, rice and broccoli is the staple. Work out 4 times a day, which I don't even know how that's possible. They always say I was working out.
Who even has time to do that?
That's exactly right.
4 times a day.
3 or 4 times a day. And, have a good strict regimen, get a good PT. And people like to say, they have the best trainers in the world, best doctors. They can get that jacked in that period of time. And I think if you've ever stepped foot in the gym and done some sort of, consistent gym program, that that's a load of BS. And the only way to do that is with, tainted substances that a lot of the PTs who work for these people claim they don't use. And I think that in terms of body dysmorphia, that's doing a lot of harm to impressionable people. Because we know the superhero world, the Marvel universe it's humongous, right? Its reach is global. So like I'm talking billions and billions of dollars every in terms of revenue, and we're looking at that as a figure of what we're meant to look like, and it's just not achievable. And I think they're doing a lot of harm by claiming that this is a natural process by gaining muscle and looking like an absolute Arnie bloody
Well, yeah, as you said, they cater to all ages because, as a teacher myself, a lot of the movies that kids love are superhero films. So they really do look up to, the main characters in these films, who are mostly all, I would say, I agree, they're not natural, even though, that's not kind of known. And being at that age, you don't really know about whether someone's natural or not. So, there's things on Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, whatever social media it is, TikTok, and kids are all over that stuff. And, if they're aspiring to be someone like that, it's going to be a challenge for them to, if they do work out that this is not a natural process of working out, it could hurt their confidence if they've been trying for a long time when they grow up or whatever it is. It could even be like people our age or, older people. But yeah, in saying that, it's not just superhero films as well. Like back in the day, you had Arnie, like you said, you had Stallone, all those like larger than life characters, and they were super jacked as well. So I feel like because we've got social media now, it's just more present, and people look up to these superheroes. But they did look up to like Schwarzenegger and stuff, and people love Arnie as well.
But I feel like those guys were within the bodybuilding world. Their reach wasn't as large as what it is now. So like what
Arnie?
Well, in terms of I would
he's
say
like the biggest.
The general like I would say, oh yeah, that's actually no, you're right in the way. But I guess he was a bodybuilder before he was an actor. So like that was his niche before he sort of broke into America, and then it became what he became. But I feel like these guys are at that forefront without having bodybuilding as their sort of way of connecting with people.
Yeah.
That was Arnie's way of connecting initially, but these guys are actors first and foremost. They're not bodybuilders like Arnie was.
Yeah.
And
like that guy we were just talking about, what's his name again? Kamal, yeah. Like when you see him big sick, he's pretty much a twig.
He is.
And then after like
he's got a dad bod.
It's been like a whole year of
12 months.
transformation and he's super jacked. Like it's pretty incredible. But yeah.
What's your take?
What do you reckon, Timmy? Come on, Timmy, tell us what you think.
I'm sort of opposing, I think.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Opposition.
I completely agree with what you guys are saying, but I feel like there could be... Look, these people they're professional actors. They do it for a living, right? So I think they have all the... As you said, it's no way that the everyday person can spend that amount of time just dedicated to looking good for a role, It's what they do. They get paid to do it, so they could dedicate pretty much months, 6 months, whatever, just to getting right for that specific role, which is not realistic for the everyday person. So I think in some cases, yes, you guys are right, but also there's also another side of things where this is what they're paid to do, week in, week out. Like I can't say yes or no. I don't know what they do, but just from the outside and seeing the long process that it takes to get ready for a role, I think it is possible. But in saying that, is it a positive outcome? I don't think so. We're talking about body dysmorphia and sort of when we see flaws or negativity when it comes to our own personal or physical appearance. So I think it has a negative connotation to, us as viewers in a way. And not just in films, even just like influencers in general, people that are just online that are known to a wider audience. It can be unhealthy for sure.
Because on social media you can touch up any photo. You can look a lot different than what you actually look. And people say that. Like there's people on social media who've come out and said, that's not what I actually look like. Which is great but at the end of the day, like it is what it is. Like that's just the world we live in. It's not fair. Like this is how people make money. This is how the movie business makes money.
Correct.
So
if they turned around and said all their actors were on steroids, they would lose so much revenue.
Exactly.
There'd be billions of dollars lost in terms of their turnovers, so they can't actually afford to do that. And like you said, we live in an unjust world, and we want to fight justice all the time, and it's good to, but at the same time, how far can we fight it? In some aspects, we actually can't really control anything, really.
But you make a good point. Like obviously, they do have a lot more time than us to put in the work. I don't know if that's possible to get that big, but Yeah, it's an interesting topic because you're right. It just looks like you have to be looking a certain way to be either famous or like make lots of money, or not make lots of money, to be famous or to be in a movie, especially a superhero film. So, as we were saying, body dysmorphia is quite a negative thing and quite toxic.
And I think people don't think about it in terms of the male sphere. I think it's very much known in the female sphere about the whole, like, I guess the Kardashian effect or the Instagram look that I guess a lot of young and impressionable girls aspire to look like and want to be like in that sort of world, in that family, have that, hourglass figure. And I feel like it is known as a very prevalent topic in, I guess, the female sphere. But when we're looking at it in the male sphere, this is never talked about. It's like, because the whole idea of being the perfect man, which is a very, very, very broad term. I'm not trying to say that's the perfect way to put it, but like being jacked and masculine is the way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's not known, these types of things in terms of body dysmorphia, that it is affecting people, right? I think it is known in the female sphere, but not so much in the male sphere through this media that we live in terms of, I guess, the whole superhero look.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, I agree.
For any gender, we're not trying to categorize males and females here, but for all genders, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, I think the female body has been more of a big focus, and like body dysmorphia, and definitely I agree with you there. So it's about time that, because people do have troubles as males or
100%.
females, whatever it is, with their body, and being on social media like can make people depressed or really sad about how they look. Which, but yeah, I agree. It's more like a female focus nowadays or recently. So I think that it needs to be more of an equal thing now, where the male body is in the limelight as well.
For sure. Normalize the dad bod, huh?
Yeah.
Normalize it, Timmy.
Normalize it.
Normalize the dad bod. He's getting normalized a little bit, but I see like, BuzzFeed quizzes on Instagram and Facebook these days. Not Instagram, but Facebook. People love a dad bod.
Apparently so.
They do surveys, and apparently dad bods are like, just as desirable as jacked Chris Hemsworth and Kamal Nanjiani bods, apparently.
We don't hear about that though, do we?
Yeah, no. We don't.
No, we don't really.
Like
you never see a male.
I didn't know that.
You never see a sort of average looking male on a Men's Health magazine.
No,
and
they're usually very fit. They're very fit people.
Very fit people, and I think in the female sphere you do see that, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I think if we're going to be talking about, I guess, the normalization of that in the male sphere, that also needs to happen as well. Normalizing a certain look for men, because like you said, Men's Health magazines are PTs who are, jacked.
Or even just looking
commandos.
Like a fit person, like doesn't have to be jacked, could go on a cover. And when we're talking about like females being on covers who probably don't look as healthy, is that even a good thing as well?
It's an interesting
topic.
We've
I know
seen a lot of that recently too.
Yeah, and it's great to celebrate yourself and to be happy with yourself, but like, are you happy being overweight or being unhealthy? Does that make sense? I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that as well, but at the same time,
there's nothing wrong with
there can be, I guess, if we're looking at this from a more general sphere, there is a range of, I guess, health issues that can arise
exactly
with someone being a little bit overweight, and that's not to knock anyone who is, but there is generally a consensus that does come with ill
I guess
health
that's another topic, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. That can go
another discussion for another time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well,
any final comments, Timmy?
I think
we've
done
done
everything.
I think we've all given our point of view here.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think we can all agree that this is very much in the limelight in the media at the moment, and we've given our opinions, our thoughts, and we hope you as our listener can hopefully connect to a thing or two. Perhaps you have your own opinion, so please let us know. Send us a message on Instagram, wherever you find us, on Twitter, Facebook. Let us know what you think. We'd love to discuss. And we appreciate you listening to The Creative Curiosity. This is the Tame Truth, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, listener and fam.
Ciao.